Hey, it's me. Only tell me, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see on my iPad, because I can now screen record my iPad, so the videos should be able to come in more frequently. So today, I just wanted to make a quick video about the importance of delayed, is it gratification or satisfaction? Delayed gratification. Oh, put my AirPods on, my bad. Delayed gratification in crypto. And essentially, in this video, I just kind of want to get it across to you guys on the importance of being able to wait and be patient. Even though the crypto space is highly volatile, prices go up and down 20, 30, 100,000 billion %. And prices also go down by like 100%, stay that way for months, and then shoot up, as we've recently seen this past August with Bitcoin. The important thing that most of us have to realize, the people I'm talking to, is that we have to always think about the future more than we think about the present. And to a degree, you have to think about the past more than we think about the present as well. Because while we're in the present with the prices the way they are, you're feeling them in real time. Your emotions are...
Honey, the cat's in the toilet again.
Well, your emotions are going to be really like, that's when they're going to be the highest, and that's when your mind is going to be your most unclear. It's in the present, because the anticipation or the learning of the past is not there. So that's why we need to focus on the future and the past. And I wanted to use the Meld initial stake pool offering as a way to get this across to you guys. Okay, so Meld comes from Meld Labs, and it's essentially a project that's going to be built on Cardano through their smart contracts and on their chain. These guys are going to become presenting their decentralized exchange and, just provide a way for people to start building things on Cardano and have, that separate ecosystem and community. And right here, it's really easy to stake to Meld too. Basically, in order to stake to Meld, you need to either have a Yoroi wallet or the IOHK dataless wallet, right? So once you download those, staking is really simple. You get your Cardano into your wallet. You go select whatever the menu is for stake pools. You find whatever stake pool you like and you delegate to them. And how you initially delegate and how you redelegate, how that works is basically you have to go through 3 epoch cycles that happen every 5 days. So you delegate, so 5 days, goes by and basically initializes like, okay, you delegated to this stake pool. And then another epoch goes by to basically be like, okay, now you're set up to really start receiving rewards. And after that third, I can't remember if it's like a third epoch that you get the rewards or after the third epoch, but that basically solidifies that you are in the stake pool. And that's a really good method of how that works, because it makes things, it keeps things in line for when people are like redelegating and delegating, and also gives people it gives people a decentive to just like not just pour it out everywhere, right? Because it's like, if you want to go from this one to this one, this stake pool to this stake pool, it's going to take you literally like about a week and 2 weeks, week and a half, give or take. Good strategy. But now we have here how you stake to Meld, and it's just like I said, you find whatever, you could type it in too, in the search bar, you find Meld, and they have separate stake pools. You see here, they used to just basically have the 100% Meld stake pool and the 50% Meld, 50% ADA stake pool. And also what that means essentially is when you stake your ADA, you're staking it for Meld. So if you're in a 100% Meld stake pool, then you get no ADA, you'll get Meld on the back end when, the tokens are supposed to be released in December. And, 50-50, 50% Meld, and then there's 50% ADA coming into you. Right now, because they had so many people staking into the pool, it basically overshot its saturation limit. And what the saturation limit for the pools in Cardano means, basically, once a stake pool operator has about 64.5 or whatever million Cardano staked to their pool, it hits, that's basically the limit. Once you hit that limit and go above that limit, the rewards continuously decrease from being produced in that stake pool. So I'm gonna just throw random numbers out for the sake of, clarity for people. If you are in a stake pool, it's at 50 million and you receive 4 ADA from that stake pool, right? When it goes over 64.5, you notice yourself consistently getting maybe like 3, 2, 1 ADA. That's how that works. So it incentivizes people to also not pull up in one pool and basically make it, OP and everything. It's a great way that also prevents people from having too much of a monopoly over the production of more ADA and staking and everything. So they have I don't know how many they have. They got at least 6, 7, 8 pools. So that lets you know this project, a lot of people are really getting into this project. But see, the key thing about this is that you get your Meld tokens airdrop to you on December 8th, right? The thing a lot that makes this something worth talking about in terms of delayed gratification is that if you stake to Meld, if you go all in, 100%, you are not going to be getting ADA rewards for that time you're staking. And 50%, you'll get half of what you get. With ADA currently being at $2.80, right? For a lot of people, that's a lot of money they could be putting on the back burner. I know for me, with the amount of ADA I have staked, if I wasn't in the 50-50 pool, I'd probably be getting 6 to 8 ADA every epoch, every 5 days. And, that's about I'll just go with $17 every 5 days, So basically within a month, most months have 30 days in them. Give or take, you may have 4 to 5 epoch cycles. I'm gonna just go with 4 because that's at least 20 days. Okay, so I'm gonna go with 5. That's about 25. And if I got 17, if I have $17 that I get every 5 days, come here in my calculator, and we have about 5 epochs, that's a possibility of $85 in this month if ADA is at 280, $85. Now imagine if ADA is at, let's say it gets a really big run up, right? And we're in October, ADA is $4, give or take, right? $4. And if I was a person that wanted to stake their Meld token, staking 100% Meld pool with the kind of ADA I'd be getting, and let's say, let's go back to 7. Let's see, $4 and $4 times. Let's see if I was to continuously get 8 ADA. So that's about $32 for that epoch. 32 times 5, talking about $160 you could be having within that month. That's a lot of money for imagine if you're a person living in Bangladesh, a person living somewhere in South Africa, somewhere in Colombia or something like that. $160 in a month from staking ADA, that's a lot of money. Even 85, even 60, And if you stake to these pools, you're not going to get that money then. But again, you're going to get your Meld tokens in December, and you're going to get them essentially for free, basically, because you're basically just putting up your ADA, and then they will airdrop you for contributing to their pools. It's not like an ICO. You don't have to go in and buy them already with that kind of. Your investment is through your ADA. So whatever you invest with ADA, that's basically okay. So it's not free. That's basically what you're paying to get in. But it's not like you have to have a certain amount. You can even have 1 ADA. Actually, no, you do have to have a certain amount. I think you need at least 64 ADA. Still, when you stake to these pools and you get those coins, then imagine, I've seen some numbers thrown around about what the price can be, and it's initially probably going to cost whatever cents. I don't know. Some people have said 1 cent. Some people have said like 14 cents. Some people have considered a couple dollars. But if you were to get, I don't know, like 130 Meld tokens in December 8th, and because we're in the middle of a bull run, let's say the bull starts to peak around like, I don't know, January, February, you could really be in a situation where all of a sudden those tokens end up like blasting off to a couple dollars, tens of dollars. Who really knows, right? But you got 130. If you have 130, you know, at, let's say if it was 10 cents. So for it, you know, for it to get to $1, that's basically a 10x, right? Basic 10x. If you ended up having 130 at 10 cents, that's $13. Do a 10x, $130. You know, that's a big jump. Now let's say you're a big boy like me though, and you have like 1,000, and it's at 10 cents. Okay, that's 100 times the 10x, $1,000. Quick 1,000. You know, that's just a layman's thing. Basically, what I'm letting you know is that you're going to have massive gains, because this is also, I think the key thing with a lot of this, like with these ISPOs and a lot of these other projects too, is like they're starting to release quite literally in the middle, close to when the bull run really starts to take off. So, and that's kind of what happened with the ICO craze in 2017. That's why when those ICOs came out, they were going crazy, because it's like the valuations of everything, period, was going up. So, you know, you coming in and you throw $1,000 on something that's like 4 cents at the ICO, all of a sudden it's like $10 and stuff. You know, that's why the bubble in 2017 honestly just like crescendoed and popped like really hard the way it did, you know, just because it was just the ability to make money was so easy. And we're kind of seeing this in the same way, but a bit of a different light, and also more legal, you know, because these people aren't pumping and dumping this. This is a legit project. This is a legit ecosystem and community these guys are trying to build. And now that I've got that like general explanation out the way, now I'm going to the lecture part of when I speak to you guys on these are the kind of things that you have to do in crypto if you're not trying to be like a crazy ass like a trader or anything like that. You're trying to be a legit investor. These are the kind of things that are going to help you out tremendously. By being patient, you know, you're allowing, you know, your investments to truly build, but you're also not playing yourself. And what do I mean by that? What a lot of people do, and what I've done in crypto, is we tend to think too much. We tend to think about the impossible too much. We tend to want things now. We want to make quick plays. We want to make quick money, especially with crypto. It's very tempting. We want to sell at the top, and then we want to buy at the bottom and everything. And doing that is fundamentally the way things are, how you should want to do things. But for a lot of us, and I know especially me, we don't have the time or the focus to really put in the effort to be good traders, and to not basically be like the 95% of traders that just don't really make much or anything at all. When you have, and I considered like this ISPO to be like a really big blessing, because it allows me to still keep my ADA. You know, I'm not spending anything to get these tokens. I'm keeping my ADA. I'm in the 50-50. I think I'm probably going to do 2 months, like maybe next month, September and November, I'm going to do 100%, but I'm 50-50 right now. So I'm still making rewards on my ADA, but I'm also going to be getting Meld tokens eventually on the back end. And it's only in a couple months, you know, because the thing you also got to consider too, like, you could actually make more money staking your ADA to these ISPOs, and then once the token comes out and the valuation reaches like a certain point, whatever that may be, you may actually end up making more money than you did staking your ADA for however long this year. Within a couple months, you literally outgain your staking gains. Because I know with ADA, I've so far made about 400 some ADA staking right now, right? And let's see, I'll say it's 425. I don't know what it is right now. 425 times the current price of 280. So that's about $1,000 staking, right? There's a possibility that my Meld tokens may end up being worth over $1,000 in the first place. So, that's the strategy behind it. That's why you gotta keep your mindset on the future, and you've also gotta understand the past as well. I understand the past and how things went with ICOs, so I can see how this would be successful, because it's not as it's the same. You're gonna be able to make the same kind of progress, but it's not as shady and it's not as cutthroat, and it's also not as exclusive. Because that's the thing I hated about ICOs. It's just they were so hyper exclusive. Even though the crypto space is small, it felt like it was impossible to find out these things unless you literally spent all day on Reddit, and looking at the future, just knowing what these people are trying to do. And I'm not going to go over Meld itself right now. I think I'll eventually do a video on them soon enough. But what these guys are a legit project. They're like Hydra. They're trying to really build something, and they're trying to make, it's not just about making something valuable. It's also about creating a space for people to, live their dreams. And to finish this off, again, I do this a lot, but let's go look at the price of Bitcoin right here. Let's look at this, man. That's why it's important. You really gotta be able to play the waiting game with this stuff. 2015 worth a couple $100. 2016, 2017 is starting to have that rise up, because 2016 was that happening, and going into 2017, that was the bull run. Things are going up and up and up and up, and excuse me, I got a big nose. And of course, the bear market, where it went down and basically bottomed into the 3000s. But again, that's why it's important to understand the past. This bear market, the bottom is basically 3K. But if you look, basically a year before, the price was a couple $100. So I mean, if you got in through here, this isn't a bear market for you, because you in profit. This isn't a bear market for you. For people who are getting in here, yeah, that's their bear. But and 2018 lasts about basically 2.5 years. Here we go, up and up, up and up, up and topped out, going down, but overall we're still going up. We're at 48K. The bear, think about that. Our bear market was literally thousands. It was literally a couple $1,000s over. I guess a stabilized market. I don't know, with 2016 going into that was like a bear or anything, but at some point, you really gotta consider it's a bear market because it went up like crazy and went down shortly, but compared to last year, it's up over a few $1,000s. It'll be the same thing again. Here we have Bitcoin at 48, spikes up to, let's say, 150K, right? Goes down. Now it's basically averaging around 50,000, 60, maybe 40,000. That could be considered a bear market, right? But if you are the kind of person that was in right here, that's not a bear market for you. You up. Now, if you don't take out your profits and reinvest, it may feel like a bear market then. I can understand that, though. But still, if you were a person like me, I got into the game in 2017. I consciously felt to myself, okay, no Bitcoin right now at 19,000. But when that bitch hit and it's, 3,000s, 4,000s or whatever, I was like, all right, that ain't bad. You get a regular ass job. Literally, you get a regular job during this time and spend most of your checks into Bitcoin. You outpace the hell out of your job. But you have to have the ability to delay your gratification. You have to have the ability to be like, I know where this is going. I'm getting on the train now. Because again, this quote-unquote bear market lasted from 2018 until about, well, it was actually on the up and up in 2020. Of course, we had the whatchamacallit happen, the pandemic happened, but still, it's on the up and up now. It took a couple years for that to happen, but you had to have been able to wait. That's what you have to be able to do in crypto, really, in my opinion, to make max gains without, like, with the lowest amount of risk. This is probably the least riskiest way to make money in crypto. Is literally holding, but also finding out other ways to make income from your crypto as well. Because this is something that we didn't have en masse back when I got in 2017, like a lot, like BlockFi and Celsius and a lot of these places, they were kind of starting to form, but it wasn't like, we didn't staking and everything like that. All these things like weren't, yield farming, DeFi. It was very, very, very immature back then. And a lot of people didn't know about it. Now, I've got an account with Celsius. I've got an account with BlockFi. I've got an account with Nexus. I have my Cardano. I'm staking my Cardano. Whenever I have VET, I have it in my Exodus wallet, and I'm getting a Thor from it, or VThor? Yeah, getting VThor. I'm staking my Hydra. So now I'm at this point where I am diversifying not only my cryptos, but I'm also diversifying how I make money from them now. But again, this took a while. This takes research. This takes observation too, because sometimes you may find a good project, but sometimes you gotta, sometimes you don't have to go all in immediately. Sometimes wait, give it a month or two, or a couple weeks, days, however long you want to wait, and just look at the project, see what's going on, see if it's really legit. Or sometimes, I like to do something. That's what I did with Hydra. I wanted to see, okay, is this for real, or is something gonna happen? And nothing happened. So I felt like, okay, I'm gonna take that dive after a few weeks. Boom. So I just want to, I'm just supporting all the guys out there that are going through some things. It's hard to pay the rent, hard to feed your kids. You want it now. You want it now. You want the clothes. You want the cars. You want the adventure. You want to help your community. You want to travel. You want to build something and fund, like, I want to fund my wife's dream to make her own entertainment show. I won't specify exactly because I don't want to spoil it, but that's what I want to use my cryptos for. I want to use my cryptos to help raise my kids. There are so many things that we want to do, and we see these games. We know we're in for something special. But for guys like you and me, the best way to do this, be patient, hold, and figure out ways to make more money from the crypto you already have. I made more money staking and lending my crypto than I ever did chasing trades. Ever. And it's the easiest thing. And it compounds too in most of these cases. It compounds. Then, not only that, let's say, I know for me, for example, now that I've stopped working and started my business with my wife, I don't have a completely consistent income stream to constantly buy cryptos. And that's why staking and lending is so important for me, because now with my tokens that I get from my staking and lending, I can reinvest those into other projects as well. And I can build those up. I'm always getting some money coming in. Again, to even get to this point, I had to delay my gratification with Bitcoin in the first place and go through those years of the price kind of bouncing around the low thousands. I did that for years. I worked. I remember being in the warehouse, daydreaming, walking through the snow for a mile, taking the train, an hour to get to work, daydreaming about these moments. I wanted it so bad back then. And it gets so painful. But in the end, I am where I am now because I was able to be patient. And sometimes you can't always be patient with things too. Because, like, for example, I mean, again, we see how these markets work. It spikes up really hard at the end of the bull and then goes crashing down. Sometimes you can't just be like, oh, what's our 150, 200,000? We gonna coast from there. Sometimes it's like, okay, no, I should probably be, I should, take me a good 70K, hold it, or something like that, right? And that's how I feel. Sometimes you can't be patient. But for the most part, you gotta be able to hold yourself back, reel yourself in, and just be prepared for the long haul, because this is a whole new industry we got a whole new industry, technologies, innovation, everything. This is going to be a really great space to be in, but you got to be willing to, reel yourself in, and you got to be willing to be patient. So that's about all I got to say. Again, let's just look at this chart. That's just crazy to me. 2016 through 2015, 16, just worth bouncing around a couple hundreds, and then spike, and then a really hard spike. Then February drops down, and then just bounces around 1,000. It's crazy because this is considered a bull market, but it's just like literally like about a year and a half, 2 years before that, it doubled up like crazy and then just stayed that way, and now it's coming up to here. So I'm definitely predicting probably a repeat of that cycle. So once you start seeing like the 150, 200Ks of Bitcoin, I know that's why I'm probably going to start, I'm probably going to take like a 25% cut and then reinvest that 25%. Hopefully that's enough to get close to like, because if I take out like 40,000 in Bitcoin at that point, like it crashes back down around 40, 50,000, you realize that you only took a portion of your Bitcoin and now you're able to buy a whole Bitcoin. That's how you gotta think. You really gotta think. You gotta understand the past so you can understand the future. Anyways, see you guys.